Hi folks, Greeno here. Where am I today? Well, I'm out and about in London again. And I've come to a place here called Queensway Market. Now, it's a pretty unassuming looking market. Just on the main road here, and inside you've got all sorts of little shops doing bits and bobs. But there are some eateries inside too. Now, we're into 2025, new year, time for trying new things, isn't it? And I'm going to try something I've never ever tried before. A cuisine I've never even really thought about trying before, to be honest. But we're going to try it today. Let's get inside and find out what it is. Okay then folks, I am really excited about this. Never had Uzbeki food before, like I say, 2025, new year, time to try new things, isn't it? Now, I've had a lot of kind of Central and Eastern European food, Russian food even, but never Uzbeki. And it seems like there are some similarities in between some of the Uzbeki food and Russian food for certain. Having a look at the menu here. Now, I've picked 3 items off of here. I was told I should only pick 2, but I've gone for 3, just because I want to see what it's all about. Now, I'm normally nervous about a menu that has pictures on there. It does normally suggest to me it's a place of not very high quality. You'll see it when you go to places in like Tenerife where they want to show you what fish and chips looks like. But here, I'm actually grateful for it because I'm unfamiliar with this food. So to give me an idea of what it actually looks like is really helpful. So, what am I going to go for? I'm going to go for one of their starters called mastava. Apologies if the pronunciation on that is not great. This is actually an Uzbek soup. This has got fried pieces of beef and vegetables, rice and garlic in there. Now that's served with sour cream and bread. I've already been bought some bread. This is obviously a traditional Uzbek kind of bread. Not quite a flat bread, but relatively unleavened. Looks really, really tasty. Feels nice and fresh too. To follow that soup, I'm going with something called somsa, which is basically a kind of samosa. It's a traditional samosa and a most loved Uzbek food. It says this is made with puff pastry, finely cooked meat and onions, and it's got a secret sauce on the side of it. Now, according to the little diagram here, we're going to get 4 pieces of that and a nice bowl of dipping sauce. So, really interested to try that too. And I've gone for a salad with this as well. Now, this is actually called Olivier, the salad. It's a Russian salad, has potato, salami, pickles, carrots, eggs and peas. Sounds like a really interesting kind of mix of stuff in there, doesn't it? So, lots of really interesting things on the menu there, things I'm unfamiliar with, so maybe I'll have to come and try some more Uzbek food somewhere else, try some of the other stuff out. But for now, I'm going to look forward to what I've ordered. Come back when it arrives. Right then folks, the soup has arrived. This is the mastava soup. So we have beef and vegetables in here and rice, all in a sort of broth. We have the bread, and I've got to say, it really is glistening. And it's absolutely packed full of goodies here. So we've got the rice in there. You can see there's peppers, there's bits of carrot, there's bits of beef in there. And also in here is a big piece of sour cream, which apparently you can mix in or not. Just take your pick, really. Just see how you go. So I guess we're probably just going to mix it in a little bit and see how we get on. I've got to say, it looks a really hearty, healthy soup. And has a really nice smell to it. You can smell some paprika in there, some garlic. It's going to be really hot. I know it's going to be really hot because it's literally just been prepared and brought to the table. There's a little bit of herb on the top of there. I don't know if that's dill or some kind of like fennel top or something like that. A little frondy kind of stuff. So let's give this a try. I like that. There's almost a slight undertone of chilli in there. Wow. I am mixing that sour cream through, and it's giving a creamy element to the soup, to that broth. The little pieces of vegetable are really soft, and the tiny little pieces of beef, they're little cubes. Look how tiny this is, but there's lots of them, and they're so soft. They almost just dissolve under the lightest pressure. The carrots in there still have a tiny little bit of bite. They've not been cooked too long. The peppers are soft and sweet. And of course, you've got rice in there too, which kind of makes it hearty. Filling, isn't it? God, I mean, you can imagine this. Back in the day in Uzbekistan, a big pot of this boiling up over an open fire or something like that, getting shared out, and that's going to keep the winter cold out for sure, isn't it? I've got to say, in my experience, anywhere, Central, Eastern Europe and beyond, they make phenomenal soups, really do. Polish soups are great, Hungarian, Ukrainian. And of course, you're making your way across them into Central Asia, basically, with this. God. There's little herbs in there too. I still can't quite work out exactly what it is. It tastes sort of dill-like, but it actually adds something to it. It's a freshness. I've got to say, this is one of the nicest soups I've had in a long time. People sometimes think soup is boring, don't they? It's just something you have as a little light snack or something. You open a tin of Heinz tomato or something like that. This is not an average soup. This is absolutely belting. Of course, I've got to try this bread with this as well. And take a look at this. Like I say, it's nice and fresh. You can see it's nice and springy. It's got some little bit of sesame seed on the top. Not too much though. Let's try it first on its own and then we'll dip it in the soup. I like that. It's very similar to a sort of British white bread, really. Similar kind of flavour. Slightly spongier consistency. And that little bit of sesame on the top. Goes really well in this soup though. What a great start. Not just a great start to this meal, but a great start to my introduction to Uzbeki food. Oh yeah. So as I'm enjoying this soup, let me tell you a little bit more about where I am. So I've come to the Queensway market. And it's right by Queensway tube station here in London. And inside this little market, there's all sorts of different little kind of small shops, stalls effectively, doing things like phone cases and bits and bobs like that. But there's a few little restaurants dotted about, including this Uzbeki one. Next door to here is a Syrian one. Across the way there's a Brazilian one. So it's a really interesting place if you want to come and try some food that you might not be familiar with. I'm definitely interested about the Syrian one next door. I might come back and try that sometime. I don't think I've ever had Syrian food. Sounds interesting to me. I'm going to crack on with this soup though. Stop disturbing me. Guys, my main course has arrived and it's made me realise I made a mistake when I told you what I was ordering. Amateur hour. So I was originally going to order the somsa, the samosas that I talked about, that come with the little secret sauce. But when I was ordering it, the guy said it takes 35 minutes to cook. And unfortunately, I've got a train to catch, so I haven't got that long to wait and then be able to film it. So I changed my mind and went with something called Mante, which are these traditional Uzbek dumplings. Now look at these. These are really plump dumplings, aren't they? Look at them. Steaming hot, again, just being cooked right now. And inside there, I'm going to refer to the menu. So we've got meat and onions inside, served with sour cream and dill. So it is dill, in fact, that we've been dealing with. We also have some sauce in a little sauce boat here. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I can smell some chilli in there. So that's going to be interesting. We'll try that too. Right. We have a fork. We're going to attack these dumplings. Let's see, they're huge. Really, really substantial portion this is. It's really got some weight to it, let me tell you. Oh, and I've also been brought over the salad too. Here we are. This is the Olivier salad with all the chopped up potatoes and salami and stuff in. Oh, yes. You know what? I like food like this. traditional food from other cultures. Things that might look quite simple, but are often got really, really complex flavours in them. And they're made with care and they're made with love. And that's what I like. So, I'm going to try this dumpling. We're going to open one up and see if we can take a look inside it. There we go. So let's see what we're dealing with here. Yeah, let's pick it up and bring it to the camera so you can have a look inside. You see all the meat there, or I'm dropping it all over the table. So there's minced meat in there. Ooh. That's got a nice flavour. How would I describe that? It's incredibly tasty. Incredibly tasty. If you can imagine the filling, if the filling of a Cornish pasty was really moist and a bit more highly spiced, that's kind of where we're at with this. Because you've got that flavour of the minced meat and you've got the onions, but with some obviously more local spicing. They're beautiful.
A little bit spicy,
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's great. Perfect, thank you. I know that sounds like a bit of a strange description, but that's kind of where it's at. You've got some spicing in there. The dumplings are beautifully made. The, what do you call it on the outside of a dumpling like this? It's not pastry, is it? Just the outside of the dumpling. It's not too thin, it's not too thick. It's sensational. Absolutely sensational. I'm going to use some of this spicy sauce here now. You can see a beautiful red colour to it. Obviously a tomato-based sauce. And we're going to see how that is by itself first, and then we'll try it with the dumpling too. That's got some spice to it. A real nice chilli kick in there. Oh yeah. I like that. And I think that's going to complement these dumplings very, very well. So let's get a little bit of that onto the dumpling. There we go. That's really good. That elevates the flavour even more. Nice warmth of chilli in there. With that minced meat. Goodness me. Absolutely delicious. Really, really tasty. Now, we've got this salad here. And like I say, it's kind of a chopped salad. In fact, a spoon might be easier than a fork with this. And we have got all sorts in here. This makes it nice and colourful. All the little bits have kind of been chopped up into a similar kind of size. All in a kind of mayo kind of dressing. That's pretty good. You've got sweetness of the pea in there. The carrot and the potato nicely cooked again. A little bit of onion, but it's not overpowering. Some sharpness from the pickle. Wow. It's a very, very simple thing. Just a few ingredients, chopped up, dressed in a mayo kind of dressing, a little bit of herb over the top. It's really good. It's a very nice accompaniment to this dish. Wow. I gotta say, if this is what Uzbeki food is all about, I need to find out more about it. I really do. Because this is delicious. I gotta say, we're in an unassuming little room, kind of in the back of a little market. I don't know if there's only one guy who works here full time, but there's only one guy here today, the owner, doing everything by himself. Really, really cool little place. Sort of place you're not going to stumble across very easily, but the sort of place you really ought to be seeking out. One thing I like about this place is that I think the way the dishes are set up, they could kind of work as sharing plates. Like, for example, these dumplings, you could easily share that between 2 or 3 people. Everyone gets a try. The same with a samosa dish and a couple of the others on the menu. And I think that would work really well. If you had a small group of you that wanted to come and experience this cuisine for the first time, you could come, order 3, 4, 5 different dishes and just try them between you, find out what you like. Do you know what? Delicious as this is, I have been beaten by it. It's so substantial. Really, really hearty food. But the guy's going to get me a takeaway box for me to take it with me. I'm delighted that I'm going to get to eat some of this later on too. Really, really delicious. Let me talk you through the pricing. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. You may have seen it in the B-roll on the menu. The soup I had, the mastava soup, was £8.50. Maybe you can argue that's a little expensive for a bowl of soup, but it was jam-packed full of stuff. And lots of really good flavour in there. I'm happy to pay that. The dumpling dish here, of which I've eaten 3 and there are 2 still left, the Mante, that's £14. Again, it's a really substantial plate of food. Plenty of meat inside those dumplings and the nice sort of sour cream and the chilli sauce and everything. Again, I think that's fine. The little salad here too, with all the chopped up veggies and the sort of sausage in there, the pickles, the mayo, that is on the menu at £6, which I think, again, is fine for a side like that. There's lots and lots of stuff in there. Really, really tasty. Good complement to any meal. Again, like if there was 3 of you sharing and you could just have a little bit of that as a side, you're going to be happy. So, I'm going to get this packed up into a takeaway box and take it home with me. I am not wasting any of this, let me tell you. It's phenomenal. And we'll get together outside and we'll have a little talk about it. Really impressed though. Uzbeki food. Who'd have thought it? Right then, folks. I cannot begin to tell you what a pleasant surprise that was. Uzbeki food, who'd have thought it? Like I say, it's a cuisine I'd never even really thought about trying before. I am so pleased that I did. So what did I have? So we had the mastava soup. Oh my goodness, that was delicious. Especially when you mix the sour cream into it. Kind of thickened the soup up a little. You had all that rice in there, the beef, the vegetables, the spicing. That was a real treat. If you ever see that on a menu, you've got to give it a go. Really is good. Then we had the manti. They were the dumplings. Oh yes. Beautiful kind of boiled dumplings filled with that beef, with the onion. Like I say, kind of like an Uzbek Cornish pasty filling, but tastier. Oh my goodness. A bit of sour cream, that lovely chili sauce with it. Absolute dream, absolute dream. And that little sort of Russian salad. Obviously, Uzbekistan has a Soviet past, so there are a lot of Russian influences in their cuisine, apparently. That Olivier salad, £6. I think that's fine. Really tasty as well. What struck me, though, was the guy in there, and there was another customer in there, another Uzbek, and I got chatting to the pair of them. Real passion for their country. Trying to explain that I should go there and visit on holiday. I'm not quite sure it's going to make it that far up the list, but it sounds like an interesting place. Central Asia. It's a bit, not necessarily on everyone's favourite tourist trail, I don't suppose, but you've got to get out and experience new things, haven't you? So you never know. Who knows? We might end up going to Uzbekistan one day. But yeah, really nice guys, really proud of what they're doing, and doing something really, really tasty. Like I said, tucked into this little unassuming shopping centre. Not the kind of place you'd find just by chance, but hopefully this video is going to point you in their direction. They reckon evenings they're really busy, daytime not so much. They're open from 12:30 to 9:30 every day. So get in and check them out. Really, really good. It's called the Uzbek Corner. It's 23 to 25 Queensway, London. Like I say, literally a stone's throw away from Queensway tube station. Dead easy to find once you know where it is. So, I've got to give them a score, haven't I? Tricky one, tricky one. The price was £31.35 altogether, including a 10% service charge. I didn't mind paying that at all. I'm only saying it's tricky because I'm trying to work out if there's anything I can take off that would make it not a 5 out of 5. And I don't think I can. I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. It was good, hearty food, cooked with love, not expensive, really nice people. yeah, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I think it was absolutely great. Well then guys, if you've enjoyed this video looking at the Uzbek Corner, the Uzbeki restaurant here in Queensway in London, leave a thumbs up on there for me. It does help the channel. And if you enjoyed this video, there are some other videos on slightly different cuisines out there. We've got a few Hungarian ones on there, that's for sure. Check them out. You might find something else really interesting there too. And if you like it, subscribe. Come and join the party. Why not, eh? 2025, you're all welcome. Right, where am I going to head next though? Well, not Uzbekistan, that's a bit too far away. But you'll have to wait till the next video to find out where I'm going to be. I'll see you then.